everyone, and welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving into the world of Claude AI.
Claude AI.
Now I know what you might be thinking. Another AI assistant.
Right.
What's the big deal?
Yeah.
But trust me, this one's got everyone in the tech world buzzing, and we're going to find out why.
Yeah, you see, we're not talking about your run-of-the-mill AI that just follows basic commands. Claude is different.
Different how?
It's designed to actually understand what you mean, the nuances of human language,
Right.
like context, even humor.
Really?
Yeah, it's almost like having a real back and forth with a machine.
Okay, I'm intrigued. But let's back up a sec. Where did this Claude thing even come from?
So Claude was created by a company called Anthropic, and they're kind of doing things their own way.
How so?
Well, they're really focused on building AI that's not just powerful, but also safe, trustworthy.
Safe.
Yeah, they've built those values right into Claude's design,
Huh.
which is a pretty big deal in the AI world, honestly.
I can imagine. I mean, sometimes all this AI stuff feels like, I don't know, the Wild West. Anything goes.
Exactly. It's like, who knows what these things are going to do?
Right.
But Anthropic's saying, hold on, let's make sure this is actually beneficial.
That's refreshing to hear for sure.
And it's actually kind of a cool little detail. They named Claude after Claude Shannon.
What's that?
He's considered the father of information theory.
Information theory.
Yeah, his work was all about understanding how information is transmitted, processed, all that, which is obviously super relevant to what they're doing with Claude.
Oh, I did not know that. That's quite a fitting namesake, wouldn't you say?
Definitely.
Okay, so we've got Anthropic, a company focused on responsible AI, and they create Claude, named after an information theory legend. But what can Claude actually do? We hear about AI writing poems and composing music these days. What are we talking about here?
So think of Claude as like a Swiss Army knife of AI assistants.
Okay.
It can write, but it can also code. Yeah, like complex code in multiple programming languages.
So it's not just writing Shakespearean sonnets, it's actually building things.
It's building things. It can analyze data, like complex data sets. It could be a customer service agent,
Oh, wow.
a super efficient one at that. It can help you brainstorm ideas. It can even do some pretty complex problem solving. And what's really interesting is, unlike some other AI models, Claude can do all this while staying really concise,
Yeah.
easy to understand.
Okay.
Like its responses, they sound surprisingly human,
Wow, that's a game changer, especially if you're someone who needs to get things done quickly.
right?
Sounds like Claude could be a huge asset in a lot of different fields.
Oh, absolutely. Like just imagine, for example, in healthcare.
Healthcare, yeah.
Claude could help doctors process medical data way faster, more accurately,
Okay.
potentially leading to faster diagnoses, better treatment plans.
So we're talking about more than just automating tasks. We're talking about AI that can actually make a positive impact.
Exactly. And that's what's so exciting about Claude, right?
Yeah.
It's not just what it can do today, it's what it represents for the future.
The future of AI.
The future of AI, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's a sign that we're moving towards a world where AI is not just powerful, but it's actually beneficial, accessible to everyone.
This is where it gets really interesting for me. We hear about AI's potential all the time, but seeing it in action with a tool like Claude really brings it home.
Right.
So when did Claude actually make its debut? Was this a recent development?
Claude was officially launched in 2023,
Yeah.
and it immediately turned heads
How come?
because it was seen as a direct competitor to other large language models, especially OpenAI's GPT. You might have heard of it.
Ah, GPT. That's the one that's been making headlines everywhere.
Yeah.
So what sets Claude apart, especially from something as well known as GPT?
Well, one of the things that distinguished Claude early on was its emphasis on safety and transparency, which Anthropic, they really prioritized that.
Right.
Like they wanted to build an AI that was not only capable, but also aligned with human values. And that really resonated with people, especially the people who were concerned about the ethical implications of AI.
That makes sense. We're seeing more and more conversations about the potential downsides of AI.
For sure.
So having a model that's built with those concerns in mind is crucial. It seems like Anthropic is trying to set a new standard for responsible AI development.
They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible, but they're doing it responsibly.
Yeah. So we've covered who created Claude, why their approach is different, what makes Claude stand out from other AI. but I'm still curious about how it's actually being used out there in the real world.
Well, that's what's fascinating about Claude. It's already being applied across a wide range of industries. And its impact, you can really start to see it everywhere.
Okay, well, let's dive into that. How is Claude actually being used in the real world? I'm excited to hear some concrete examples.
Well, one area where Claude is making a real difference is healthcare.
Healthcare.
Yeah, just imagine a world where AI can analyze thousands of patient records in seconds.
Okay.
Identifying subtle patterns that human doctors, they might miss,
That sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. Is that really happening?
It is. Researchers are using Claude right now to sift through mountains of data.
Wow.
Looking for those hidden connections that could lead to breakthroughs.
Breakthroughs in?
Disease prevention, diagnosis, treatment.
So it's not just about speeding up existing processes. It's about using AI to actually improve healthcare.
Exactly. It's about taking things to a whole new level.
Yeah.
And it's not just healthcare. Education is another area where Claude's making waves.
Okay, how so?
Think about a classroom where every student has access to a virtual tutor.
A virtual tutor.
That can adapt to their individual learning style, their pace.
That could be revolutionary, especially for students who struggle in a traditional classroom.
Right, because Claude can analyze their strengths, their weaknesses, identify knowledge gaps, and then tailor lessons and exercises to their specific needs.
So it's like having a personal tutor for every subject.
Pretty much. It can even provide real-time feedback, guidance, helping students stay on track, reach their full potential.
And what about the teachers? How does this impact their role?
That's a good question. And honestly, Claude can be a valuable tool for teachers too.
How so?
Well, it can help them create customized lesson plans, grade assignments more efficiently, even provide insights into student performance that can inform their teaching strategies.
So it's not about replacing teachers, it's about giving them new tools.
Exactly. Empowering them with new insights.
That's a much more positive way to think about AI in education. What about customer service? I feel like that's another area that's ripe for AI disruption.
You got it. Customer service is being totally transformed by AI like Claude.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine how helpful it would be to have an AI that can answer my questions right away. No more waiting on hold for hours.
Right, exactly. Claude can answer those frequently asked questions, resolve those simple issues, and even escalate the more complex problems, to a human agent seamlessly. It's available 24/7. Instant support.
That's impressive. It sounds like Claude is becoming a valuable asset in so many different fields.
It really is.
But let's step back for a moment. Why does all this matter? Why should our listeners care about Claude AI?
That's the key question, isn't it? I think Claude represents a turning point in the evolution of AI. It's not just about what it can do today.
It's about what it represents for the future.
It's about what it means for the future of technology, of society as a whole.
So we're talking about more than just convenience, more than just efficiency.
We're talking about how AI is changing how we live, how we work, how we interact with the world around us.
And Claude is a prime example of how we can use this technology to actually make a difference.
To address real-world challenges.
To improve our lives.
Exactly.
It's amazing to think about how far AI has come in such a short amount of time. I mean, it's gone from being like this futuristic concept to something that's actively shaping our present.
It really has. And it's only going to become more influential in the years to come.
So that begs the question, how do we make sure that this powerful technology is used for good?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's going to require a collaborative effort.
A collaborative effort. Between who?
Researchers, developers, policymakers, and society as a whole, really.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the people behind it.
It's about the values, the intentions that drive its development, its use.
Well said. This has been an incredibly insightful conversation. I feel like I've learned so much about Claude AI and its potential impact on the world.
Me too. And it's been great discussing this with you.
As we wrap up this part of our deep dive into the world of Claude AI, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought. If AI like Claude keeps evolving at this rate, how will it reshape our lives in the next 10 years? What new doors will it open? What new challenges will we need to face?
Those are great questions. And you know what? I think the answers will depend on the choices we make today. AI has the potential to revolutionize countless industries, solve some of our toughest problems, even create a world that's more efficient, more equitable, more sustainable.
It's an exciting time to be alive, that's for sure. And a little bit daunting, maybe. But one thing's clear. The future is being shaped by AI, and Claude is at the forefront of that transformation.
Absolutely. And it's up to all of us to engage in these conversations, to stay informed, to play an active role in shaping this future.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive today. We hope you learned something new, and you're as fascinated by the world of AI as we are. It really makes you think, we've talked about all the amazing things Claude can do in healthcare, education, customer service, but I think what I keep coming back to is this idea of responsible AI, like building it the right way.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like the folks at Anthropic, they really get that. With great power comes great responsibility.
It's like they're not just trying to build the most powerful AI, they're trying to build the most trustworthy AI, and that's a pretty powerful message.
Absolutely. It's a message that I think a lot of people are looking for right now in all this AI hype.
Speaking of, you mentioned that Claude's based on a large language model. What does that even mean?
Oh, it's basically a type of AI that's been trained on a massive amount of data, text data. Like, think libraries full of books.
Okay.
And that allows it to understand and generate human-like text in a way that we just couldn't do before.
So it's like feeding an AI all these books and then asking it to write its own story.
Exactly. And Claude is one of the most advanced ones out there. It can answer your questions in a really informative way.
Yeah.
But it can also generate different creative text formats, like poems, code, scripts, musical pieces, email, letters, all sorts of things.
You can do all that. So if I ask Claude to write me a haiku about the future of AI, it could actually do it.
It could definitely give it a try.
Sure.
And you might be surprised by the results.
Okay, I have to try that later.
Yeah.
But going back to this whole responsible AI thing, I think there's a fear out there, that AI is going to get so smart that it'll turn on us. Like the Terminator scenario.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's a valid concern, and it comes up a lot, and it's something we should definitely be thinking about. But honestly, we're still a long way off from creating machines that have that level of self-awareness, that level of autonomy.
So you're not worried about the robot apocalypse just yet?
Not quite. I think it's more important to focus on the ethical challenges that we're facing right now.
Right.
Well, things like bias in algorithms, that's a big one. Data privacy, and the potential for AI to replace jobs. Those are very real issues we need to be dealing with today.
That makes sense. It's easy to get caught up in the what ifs, but there are real-world consequences to AI that we need to address now, not later.
Exactly. And that's why I think what Anthropic's doing with Claude is so important. They're not just focused on the technology, they're focused on doing it the right way.
It's definitely inspiring to see a company taking that kind of responsibility. Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. We've talked about Claude's unique capabilities, how it's being used in different fields, and the bigger picture of responsible AI development. And I think it's safe to say that the world of AI is vast, and it's changing all the time. But hopefully, this deep dive has given our listeners a good overview of what's happening and why it matters.
I think so too. And more importantly, I hope it sparks some curiosity, because AI is going to be a big part of our lives moving forward.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of Claude AI, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought. Imagine a world where AI isn't something to be afraid of, but something to be excited about. Something that can help us solve problems, unlock new levels of creativity, and ultimately create a better future for everyone.
That's a great vision. And honestly, I think it's a vision that AI like Claude can help us achieve.
I think so too. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive today. We hope you enjoyed exploring the world of Claude AI with us. Keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep into the topics that matter most.
See you on the next Deep Dive.